Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. An introduction of the philosophy of the teachings of Islam. It is the translation of introduction which was written by Maulana Jalaluddin Shams Sahib. A person by the name of Swami Sadhu Shogun Chandar had spent 3 or 4 years of his life attempting to reform the Kasits Hindu caste. In 1892, he came to conclusion that unless people were gathered together under one roof, his efforts would be in vain. He therefore proposed to convene a religious conference, with the first one taking place in 1892 in Ajmer. In 1896, considering Lahore to be suitable venue, he began preparing for the second such religious conference. Swami Sahib appointed a committee to oversee the arrangements. Master Durga Prasad was president of the committee and Lala Dhampat Roy BALLB its chief secretary. The dates chosen for the convention were 26 to 28 December 1896, and the following six people were nominated as its moderator: Rai Bahadur Babu Portal Chand Sahib, Judge Chief Court Punjab; खान बहादुर शेख खुदा बख्श साहिब, जज स्माल कॉज कोर्ट लाहौर; राय बहादुर पंडित राधा किशन साहिब, कोल प्लीडर चीफ कोर्ट लाहौर, फॉर्मर गवर्नर जम्मू; हज़रत मौलवी हकीम नूरुद्दीन साहिब रजी अल्लाह अन्हो, रॉयल फिजिशियन; राय भवानी दास साहिब MA एक्स्ट्रा सेटलमेंट ऑफिसर झेलम; Sadar Jawahar Singh Sahib, Secretary Khalsa Committee, Lahore. The committee invited the learned representative of Muslims, Christians, and Aryas to set forth the excellencies of their respective faiths. The objective of the conference of great religions to be held at the Lahore Town Hall was that the excellence and the merits of the true religion be espoused in a gathering of cultured people, and that its love be instilled in their hearts, and that they become well acquainted with its arguments and proofs. The learned divines of every religion would thus be given the opportunity to convince others of the truth of their respective religions, while the listeners would be able to assess each speech in relation to the others and accept the truth from wherever it was to be found. Disputes between the followers of different religions had given rise to the desire to seek the true faith. This was the best achieved by bringing together the learned preachers and teachers so that they might, in the context of a few published questions, set forth the beauties of their respective faiths. In such a conference, the true religion from God would definitely become patent. This was the objective of the conference. Every learned teacher and preacher knew that he was duty bound to make evident the varieties of his faith. The conference was being held so that the truth may become manifest, and it was thus a God given opportunity for them, the learned divines, to fulfill this objective. Such opportunities were not always available to us. Prevailing upon them, further Swami Sahib wrote, if a person sees another suffering from a fatal disease and he firmly believes that he holds the cure for the disease, and he also claims to have sympathy for the human race, then how is it possible for him to intentionally turn away from called upon to provide a remedy? My heart is filled with the desire. My heart is filled with the desire to know which religion is the one replete replete with truth. I have not the words to express my fervor. Representatives of various religions accepted Swami Sahib's invitation, and the Conference of Great Religions was held during the Christmas holidays of 1896. Each of the speakers was required to address 5 questions published in advanced by the committee. The committee also stipulated that, as far as possible, each speaker should confine his answers to the holy book of his religion. The questions were the physical, moral, and spiritual status of man. What is the state of man after death? It means that hereafter. What is the true purpose of man's existence on earth and how can it be achieved? What are the effects of one's deeds in this life and the afterlife? What are the sources of divine knowledge? The conference was held on 26 to 29 December and was attended by representatives of Sanatan Dharam, Hinduism, Arya Samaj, Freethinker, Brahmo Samaj, Theosophical Society, Religion of Harmony, Christianity, Islam, and Sikhism. All representatives addressed the conference, but only one of the lectures provided a true and complete answer to all 5 questions. Words cannot describe the atmosphere of the conference when Maulvi Abdul Karim Sialkoti Raziyallahu anhu most eloquently delivered the lecture. Every person, regardless of religion, could not help but shows his appreciation and approbation. There was not one person who was not engrossed and enraptured. The style of delivery was most interesting and appealing. What better proof of the lecture's excellence than the fact that even the opponents were full of praise for it. Despite being a Christian newspaper, the Civil and Military Gazette Lahore considered this speech to be the only one worthy of mention, and it was the only one which it commented highly. The speech was written by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Islam of Qadian, the founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat. It could not be completed in the 2 hours allocated for it, so the conference had to be extended for an extra day. The newspaper Punjab Observer filled column after column with applause for it. Paisa Akhbar, 14वीं सदी, Sadiq ul Akhbar, Mukhbir Sadiq, Mukhbir Dakkan, and General Gauri Asfi of Calcutta, etc. All these newspapers were unanimous in their acclaim. Non-Muslims and non-Indians all declared the essay to be the most superior one of the conference. The secretary of conference, Dhampat Rai, BALLB, Pleader Chief Court Punjab, wrote in his report of the Conference of Great Religions, there was an interval of half an hour following the speech of Pandit Gurdan Das Sahib, as the next item on the agenda was a speech presented on behalf of a renowned advocate of Islam. Most people did not leave their place. The large Islamia College building began to fill up long before 1:30 p.m. The gathering numbered between 7 and 8,000 people, educated and knowledgeable people from various religions and nations were present at, and although plenty of tables, chairs, and floor full space had been provided, still hundreds of attendees were left with no choice but to stand. The attendees included many dign- dignitaries, leaders from Punjab, scholars, barristers, lawyers, professors, etc., assistants, and doctors. In short, different branches of educated society were all present. They stood for 4 or 5 hours listening with great patience and with rapt attention, and this shows how deeply they cared for this sacred cause. The writer of the paper did not attend in person, but one of his disciples, Maulvi Abdul Karim Sialkoti, was delegated to read it at the conference. The committee had allotted 2 hours for the essay. However, it was not finished in this time. Seeing the avid interest shown by the audience and moderators, Willing agreed to extend the session until the conclusion of the speech. This decision was in exact keeping with the wishes of the participants. Maulvi Abu Yusuf Mubarak Ali agreed to forego his time so that Mirza Sahib's essay could be concluded. This was widely appreciated by the audience and the moderators. The conference had been due to end at 4:30 p.m., but in view of the wishes of the audience, it was extended to beyond 5:30 p.m. The essay was delivered in 4 hours, and from start to finish, it was most interesting and well appreciated. After receiving prophetic revelation from God on the 21st of December 1896, a few days before the conference, the founder of the Ahmadiyya movement publicly declared that his essay would be the most overpowering one. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.